then we're working with organizations like yours, and our goal in collecting food and helping the food pantries stay stocked. Peyton's Promise began when I watched a show on a little boy named Ivan Stevens. This is Ivan, and he was a little kindergartner who lived in Camden, New Jersey. Camden, New Jersey is one of the poorest cities in the United States, and Ivan grew up in that city. He slept on streets just like that picture. He slept in illegal boarding houses, and he slept in a one-room little illegal boarding house with one chair, and his mom and his younger brother and him, they all slept on that one chair together because, they couldn't afford a home, or they couldn't afford to stay in, like a hotel or something like that. So I was watching the show about Ivan, and then the show went on, and I was just like, oh, this is so sad. The saddest part of the show was when he went to his first day of kindergarten, and when they were talking about what he knew his letters and his colors and his numbers, and he knew when he wanted to grow up, he wanted to be Superman, and he knew all of this, but what he didn't know was what the words breakfast, lunch, or dinner meant. He had never heard those words before because of the fact that his family could not afford those meals. And this really touched my heart, and I found out that there were people just like Ivan in my hometown of Wausau, and all over the United States, as well as all over the world. So I wanted to do something to help people like Ivan all around the world. So we started Peyton's Promise. And Peyton's Promise has grown into a huge organization collecting tons of food every year for food pantries. We've collected probably over 110 tons of food to this day for food pantries across the United States as well as in England. And we continue to collect food for food pantries because of the fact that there's always a growing need for food in food pantries. We've seen huge examples of that when we collect tons of food and it's gone and distributed in a month. And we continue because of groups like yours who are fighting to help people like Ivan and people who are in need of the food, and we obviously could not have done it without people like you. Peyton's Promise has three main objectives. Our objectives are to collect food for food pantries as well as other programs like ours and keep the pantries stocked and make sure there's food in food pantries. We also want to assist in solving childhood hunger, which we obviously know that hunger will always be an issue, but we can try to make the issue a little smaller than it is already. Our second objective is to educate people about the problem of hunger and motivate them to make a difference. This is a really cool thing that we'll be able to work together on because kids, if they know that there are kids like Ivan going to bed hungry, then they're going to want to do something about it too. And it's awesome to see the passion in an 8-year-old or older eyes for making a difference. It's amazing to see how much of a difference kids can make as well. And our third objective is to fight childhood obesity. And we do these three objectives through many of our different programs. And the two I'm going to share with you today are our Advocate program and our Stock the Shelves event program. And these are our two big programs that we have. And they're very good programs to work with the Optimist clubs together with these programs. Our Advocate program was started by a college student who went to UW-Madison and was trying to find a way for sustainability and longevity with Peyton's Promise. And she came up with this program. And what it is we have students in 4th grade or above work in their schools to make a difference. We right now have about 50 advocates in 2 states, and we continue to grow. And these students are very passionate about making a difference. They also come to a lot of our events for Peyton's Promise, and they help us at the events, and sometimes they even do presentations with their classmates, and it's really cool to see that too because they can motivate their own friends and classmates to make a difference as well. Something we can do to work together on this is if you see kids around your area who you think has a passion of making a difference or would love to do something like this, encourage them to apply. We have our Peyton's Promise website on peytonspromise.org, and it has all the information to apply. The only requirement is to be in 4th grade or older, and we have an Advocate Day of training, which is awesome, and we train them on how they can make a difference in their community. we go through the pantry and we actually work at the pantry and serve meals to the people. So that's really cool as well, and we'd love to see this program become huge because, encouraging kids to make a difference is a great thing. These are some of our advocate events. The bottom picture here is a picture of our advocate training this year, and we have guest speakers come in and talk about different programs, and that was really cool because a women's shelter came in and talked about, their stories, and these kids, their eyes are just opened on that day, and it's so cool to see. So it's a great program, and it's a great way to educate kids about the problem of hunger as well. These are our advocates through the years. We started this program 3 years ago, and up in the top right corner is our first year of advocates. It was quite a small group, and this picture, the 2013 to 2014, isn't all of the advocates, but it's a lot of them, and you can see there's a lot of kids trying to help fight childhood obesity as well as stop childhood hunger as well. And these are 3 pictures of just some of our advocates who are doing things themselves. They're taking their own initiative to make a difference in their community. This picture over here, her name is Madison. She decided that instead of getting birthday presents, she was going to collect food for food pantries. And it gives them even more of the initiative to see these little kids come through the food pantries not being able to eat food. Maybe they came to school on a Monday and they hadn't eaten all weekend. And it's so cool to see the advocates, take that initiative to make a difference in their community. She's only in 8th grade, and she is doing a huge part in the community, as well as all of the advocates. These are all just food drives that they did themselves to help collect food for food pantries. And that's really cool to see because, we try to lead them in what they can do to make a difference, and it's awesome to see them, go and do this themselves and go and make the world a better place. Our other program that I was going to talk about today is our Stock the Shelves program. This is one of my favorite programs. It's a lot of fun. What we do is we stand outside of grocery stores all across Wausau. Usually, right now it's in Wausau, but we stand outside of 8 different grocery stores, and we hand out lists of items that are most needed at food pantries. So this is the list, an example list of items that we collect. And these items are most needed at the food pantries. And you may see things on there like toilet paper or paper towel or shampoo and things that you wouldn't think would be needed at food pantries. I mean, think of toilet paper as a luxury item. That's, something that I never would have thought of. And so we hand out these lists, and as people are grocery shopping, they can pick up a few extra items on the grocery list and drop them off on the way out, and then we bring that food to the food pantry. So it's a really easy way to be able to donate because, it's right there for you while you're grocery shopping, and it's really cool to have the advocates, and we have different groups work with us. We've had Optimist clubs, or junior Optimist clubs work with us before. We've had different youth groups and different church groups work with us, and they stand outside of the stores and hand out the lists, and it's really cool to see, them encouraging people to donate to the food pantry. It also eliminates the problem of outdated food because the food is, in the store, so it wouldn't be outdated. Because how many times have you heard the word food drive and grab the stuff you're not going to eat? And we've seen that a lot. We collected about 6 tons of food one year at a village-wide food drive, and we had to throw away 1 or 2 tons of that food. And it was crazy because, I even admit before I found out about this, that's, I'm not going to eat the lima beans, so I'm going to donate them. And it's something that, it's a really easy change because there's no price difference between something like lima beans and something else that may be needed at the food pantry, but it's just something that we have to educate people more about because we obviously can't get that food out and we have to toss it. We continue to grow because of groups like yours. We continue to grow because of the people all across the United States with the initiative to make a difference. And I strongly believe that with all of us in here working together to help fight hunger around the United States, we can make a huge difference. And what I always say is, Peyton's Promise may say my name, but that's one of my biggest regrets because I haven't collected all of this food. It's been every person who has donated, whether it's a can to, one can of food to 10 tons of food. Anything really helps. When you think about it, one can go a long way. It can be a meal for a family, and it's a meal that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So I believe that we could make a huge difference through these programs. And thank you very much for allowing me to come here today and allowing me to work with you. We have a table in the back. We will be selling our Peyton's Promise t-shirts. Mr. Charlie Poopah has modeling his t-shirt off over there. Those are our new Peyton's Promise t-shirts, and they're tie-dye, and they say Peyton's Promise on the front and making the world a better place one can at a time on the back. And those are for sale for $10, and we'll use that money to purchase food for freezers, such as meats and those kind of things, so we can give those out as well at the food pantries. We also have our Peyton's Promise silicone bracelets and more information about Peyton's Promise if you'd like to work with us, in any